I'm Ron Westbrook. I'm a rural chaplain. I work for an organisation called Chaplaincy Australia. Many of the people watching this will know me. Previously I was on staff at Hawkesbury Church, and so we're old friends, family I guess. But I'm now working as a chaplain and an organisation that's attempting to look at becoming more involved in rural communities. Okay, Chaplaincy Australia's history is fairly short compared to, say, for example, the Salvation Army or other organisations in Australia that have been involved. It actually started in Sydney. A lady named Anne Iliano was the founder of Chaplaincy Australia. The organisation has grown considerably over the last 12 years. Has been mostly involved in metropolitan areas, in schools and prisons, hospitals, other places like that. Chaplaincy as an idea, the concept of chaplaincy is about, I guess from my perspective, is about being the fingers and toes of the church, being right out on the edge of there, showing care to people that are outside the church doors. I'm located in a community in the Riverina called Cootamundra. If you think Canberra, then drive 2.5 hours west, about an hour north of Wagga, but working in the Riverina. The Riverina covers 150,000 square kilometres, so it's a large area, and we're finding that we're actually stretched out pretty well across most of that area, involved with different people across that area in rural communities. I'm doing about 5,000 k's a month, so I guess we're doing a little more than 1,000 k's a week. That's not uncommon, as you can imagine. It's a large rural area, and I actually don't mind that. I quite enjoy the drive. I think there's all kinds of needs. I mean, there's practical needs. We're getting involved with all kinds of needs with people. I mean, we're getting involved with people in terms of really practical things. Like recently, there was a lady, a single lady with a daughter, didn't have a hot water system, so we helped her to find a way to get that, and practical needs. But in terms of the big picture, most of the need we're seeing is people just need a little bit of hope. I think rural people have had a flogging for a fairly long time with the ongoing drought. This year's been the best start for a year, and you might see some of the footage that I've taken. The land looks fantastic. But the facts are, after 10 years of drought, there's just no money, there's no cash, and so it's going to be years before people actually get back on their feet again, if this is a good season. And so I think one of the biggest things we're finding is just being able to offer people a little bit of hope. One of the things that people ask me often is, well, have you ever had anybody tell you to get off their farm? It's just never happened. Every time we've turned up somewhere cold, people have said, we're just so glad you came. So I think that rural people very often are fairly lonely. I think you can be lonely in the crowd, but are fairly lonely because of the tyranny of distance, that kind of thing. And we're finding increasingly, since we've been there this last 12 months, 10 to 12 months, that more and more people are hearing about us and calling us and getting more engaged. I recently had a call from a rural financial counsellor that said, would I talk to a farmer for him that was struggling financially? And so I went and spent some time with this farmer, and when I left he said, I'm so glad, he said, I had a list of 8 names, he said, I'm so glad I picked your name. He said, it was just, you've helped me so much. And so we're pretty excited about that. There's some really, really good opportunities out there. Chaplaincy Australia would like to see 6 to 8 rural chaplains in west of the Great Dividing Range in New South Wales. That's just a starting point. Obviously I'm the first, and this is still a pilot program, so the future is still somewhat uncertain. But in terms of that, that's where we're heading. The vision is to have 6 to 8 rural chaplains scattered across the rural areas of New South Wales over the next 5 years. Hawkesbury's done a number of things for us. Obviously, we're just so excited to have people back there that are praying for us and thinking about us and Facebook us and keep encouraging us and making phone calls. But Hawkesbury Missions has committed $6,000 to us over the next 12 months, which we're really, really grateful for. But they've also done quite a bit more than that. I had some vehicle issues a bit earlier in the year, and I contacted Rick, and Hawkesbury fixed everything. They didn't only fix the emergencies, they actually fixed some other things for us. So they've been on board with us, they're praying for us. People from Hawkesbury Church are still phoning us and involved with us. We're hooking up people from Hawkesbury Church with people in rural communities so that they can have someone to talk to. So it's just ongoing, and we're just so excited about that. just so great to have you guys thinking about us and praying for us. We feel like family whenever we came home. We were home recently and it was just so great to be there. And we just so much enjoy the fact that you guys haven't forgotten about us, that you still talk to us and Facebook us and are still thinking and praying for us. Thank you so much. We just really appreciate you guys and hope to be back home again soon sometime.